Let you know that I'm working on my first graphic novel, and the name of my graphic novel is American Princess. I've already written the table of contents. I have about 17 chapters. The first installment is going to be called The Broken Child. It's going to be telling a story of how a young girl gets involved in adult situations that shouldn't have been there. This book is based on a true story, and I want to tell the truth and make people really consider that sexual abuse really can hurt a person. But at the end, by the time I was 18, I just overcame it. I was just like, they're ruining my life, and I'm not going to deal with it anymore. In my end of the chapter of Broken Child, I was molested at 11, so the next installment would be my age of 13 through 18. So my graphic novel is going to be a time period that I can write. I'm going to go ahead and give you a summary of the first topics that I have written down. The first chapter is called Feral. Let me try to explain what feral means. Feral means that you're raised in an isolated, terrible, almost prison-like statement where you don't have a mother and you don't have a father, and you're living in absolute filth. And when I was a child and my father died, I had to live that. That what I did have, at that time was the age of 2.5 all the way to the age of 3.5. So it was a big chunk of my life, but I never even thought of it until my friend told me, Heather, you were a feral child, and I'm like, I didn't get it. I didn't get it until, like, someone telling me that's what it was like. So I spent time and wrote about 45 pages about my experience. Did a little bit of overboard tweaking because I was curious what it would be like to actually expand on what I would think a feral child would have to go through. The first chapter is almost complete. I've been writing for about 2 weeks now, and I love writing and I love drawing, so that's why the graphic novel is going to be going forward. The next chapter is called Ward of the Court, and it's going to detail my chance where I get new foster parents and how I'm being raised by people that aren't related to me in any sense. She's a stay-at-home mom, and he is a police officer, and it's not true, but there's things that are true that happened during that time. The next part is about ranches, and it was my grandfather's ranch, and I had really funny stories of being on the ranch, but there was times that he would take me out on the ride of the horse and just do totally inappropriate touching and fondling, I guess you could say. So the age of 4, 5, 6, around that time, he got caught with other children who actually reported him, and my mom pulled me aside and said, Heather, did this happen to you? Tell me what you think happened. So when I was 5, I was really outgoing, and I said, this is what I went through. And she didn't really believe me, and I wasn't really explaining the exact event of what happened. The next step is called Shopping as Grandma. We loved to go shopping like everywhere. We loved it. She had good money, and My grandpa always slept in a separate room, which I couldn't understand. But I would wake up and he would be in my bed, and it was very confusing. It was about the age of 9 to 11, and I didn't know it was wrong. I didn't know it was different or weird. I still think about it, like what does a guy get out of doing something like that? I thought it was my fault. Maybe I was being too cute or beautiful or funny, or I took it on like it was my fault. So it was around that time that I was trying to grow up from 9 to 11, so you can imagine how confusing that would be as far as male role models. The end of the broken child story is going to be about when I was 11 and I was molested by my uncle from my aunt's husband. And he molested me when I was 11 years old. And that's the end of the broken child story. You have to understand that girls can go past being a survivor, and it's definitely a lot of work. It's about forgiveness, which I still haven't done it yet. I'm not ready. I'm just not ready. But the best thing that I can say is that they're all deceased. They're all dead. They're all gone. So, I know it's kind of an evil thing to say, but that's my life, and I'm going to put it in this graphic novel. And I've written about, probably say around 20 pages. And I hope to reach people and maybe even do a book, do some artwork. Someone noticed that this is a problem with survivors of sexual abuse, since harassment is such a big deal right now. I would love to promote that men cannot ruin your life forever. You can't. He will screw up your life for the rest of your life. So, this is my story, and if you have any comments you want to make, if you've been molested, if you had a bad childhood, if you had parents that didn't understand or respect or believe that you had been molested or didn't want to talk about it, please email me and maybe check out my website just to see where I'm coming along with the graphic novel. Alright, I'm going to sign off here. My website is www.heatherdeogracia.com, and my email, which is pretty easy, is going to be heatherdeogracia@gmail.com. I really want you to have a good day, and I want to make this a very positive experience. I hope to see you soon, and I'll keep in touch. Bye!